I'm going to pull this up and I'll send this link out. Let's see if I was smart enough to actually save it. He has, when we went to Brightspace, I didn't share my screen though, did I? There we go. We went to Brightspace about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he recorded a bunch of videos. If you really ever want to take Brightspace to the next level, they're all right here. And it's about inserting stuff, setting up your grade setup wizard, the 9-dot waffle. We're going to actually look at some of that, announcements, but that's all here. This is a resource that you can have. So if a lot of people actually sometimes like the videos better than the actual trainings, and that's nothing against how the trainings are done, just because you can go back on the videos and rewatch stuff and how they're doing it as opposed to it. And also when you have technology trainings, a lot of times people's levels are at different places, so the questions are kind of wide. So we're going to do a little bit of Brightspace, but I did say we would do this and I don't want to forget. I mentioned where we were talking about like different types of delivery methods and OneDrive and Teams and all that. In case you ever want to know where that's located, I don't know how you all access email. When I still do it at home, I just go right up to the top here and hit email. And when I log in, of course, let me just get out of that because I don't want to go that route. I'm going to use a different server. Boom. Let's use that one. Nothing's easy sometimes. There we go. Let's do Shepherd. Now I'll do it. When you go to email, and I hit my little account. This is not Brightspace, by the way. But when you're logging into your email, if you look on this side here, you have access to all of that. That's Word, Teams, Excel, PowerPoint. It all saves. That's all yours. You're eligible to use all that.
I don't have Teams.
When you log into yours, it doesn't give you the Teams option?
No, but maybe it's because I didn't log in through the website.
Oh, you muted Mary.
I'll try logging in. If I try logging in through the website, maybe that'll give me Teams.
You should have it. If you don't, let me know, because it's something that I need to check on, because we need to get a hold of Rich, because I think that's something everyone should have. But when you look on this side, everyone should have that. You have Word. I use this a lot. You can share with stuff. But the Teams is there. PowerPoint. You might use Forms. I don't know if you'll use OneNote much. And also, if you go up here and click that waffle, there's a OneDrive. It's like Google Drive. That's how I explain it basically to everyone. You're able to, you can save whatever you want in there. And it's just like having a Google OneDrive, but it's just your Shepherd one. And I have to say, I've tried to really get in the habit of moving stuff into it, because when I'm teaching classes, it's just a lot easier to have it there. It's on that cloud, so to speak. So, Mary, let me know if you have, do you have it? You do?
I have to log in through the website in order to see it. So, and thank you for the OneDrive. I didn't know I had that.
No problem. And then, like I say, the Teams is right here also, so you can use it. And it sounds like we have a Teams expert. So, that's what the VA uses. Wow. I have to admit, well, it'll be recorded anyway. I still kind of gravitate to Zoom a little bit, but I'm trying to get better with Teams. But yep, that's all there. I don't even know what Yammer is. I've never even tried it, so I'll have to check that out. And we do have trainings on all of these, so anytime you want to check them out, feel free. But yep, you all should have access to all that. And let's see, now for the good stuff, I guess. Brightspace. This is a very general, throw it out there question. Has everyone, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead. Oh, you're muted.
Yep. My 6-year-old is singing Frozen for the 7th time today, so I keep having to mute myself.
Actually, that's why I'm in my office, because I have a 13-year-old, and God bless him. He walks around the house. It sounds like Bigfoot's walking around.
Yes, absolutely. I I get it. So I just had a quick question as I'm thinking about it. I know a lot of times on Teams, we're not able to see everyone. So I'm wondering if any other professors that are doing synchronous or just even teaching through Teams or Zoom, what was their preference so that you can kind of see everyone at the same time versus having to keep switching screens to make sure that everyone is remaining active in your course rooms.
Do you mean, and I'm sorry if I sounded like I was trying to think there. So
Okay.
you're basically saying which one they use more, Teams or Zoom? Is that kind of what we're?
So I noticed like when I have my team meetings through work,
Mhm.
we're not always able to see everybody. And I have more, how can I say it? I'm able to view everyone better or capture everyone better via Zoom versus Teams. And I just wanted to know anyone else's opinions regarding that.
I will tell you this, and then if anyone else wants to chime in, please do. I will say, I always get the feeling our students prefer Zoom, even if they have to do what we're doing now, like with the 40-minute thing, and you have to sign in. I don't know what it is about it, and I have to admit, what I found with Teams, with students, they've told me, and I have experienced this, and it's an easy one. I guess because Teams, I guess, I don't know how it works, but if you're signed into your Microsoft account, but you have multiple Microsoft accounts, sometimes there's issues with the sign in because you think you're signed in, but you're not signed in to the right one. Does that make sense? And with the screens, that's something we still fight no matter we even still have students who don't want to like show their cameras on during like Zoom things. And I have to admit, I'd probably have to talk to Richie a little bit about like, even if it's required, if students have to have their cameras on. I know some professors strongly encourage it. But as far as like delivery, I feel like I still like Zoom better, but I don't want to say, I've heard that the chat rooms and some of the add-ons with Teams are better than with what Zoom has, if that makes sense. So I don't know if anyone else has any opinions, feel free to chime in.
We only use Teams. You can't see my face on this, but I think it's because this is a work computer and I think it has all kinds of firewalls. Because when we only do Teams and we do everything Teams, and they somehow are able to make little pictures. So you can see everybody, but I can't tell you I know how to do it because they're just little tiny, like little pictures like on your driver's license. So you can see everybody. But I can't tell you I know how they do it, but it works. And Teams, we haven't used Zoom in a long, long time at my job.
You know what? If you give me 1 second, I think I'm not probably doing your question justice here. I thought we might even have a video up. Let me go to IT. Oh, by the way, this might be a good thing to know. If you ever need IT, just type in IT on the search, and believe me, it happens. And if you have any problems, you just do IT work order at Shepherd. It's right there. For example, if you're having login problems or something's acting quirky, you can just email them, and they're pretty quick about getting back with you. I was trying to see if we had any training. Let me go to CTL real quick just to see if Rich had anything up there with the teams. I don't think he does. Let's see. EarPod. There, and by the way, you are all welcome to check out any of this stuff, obviously. It doesn't look like he has any videos up at the moment. Let me see if he's got flyers, pedagogies. I will find out if you're with the teams about the windows. It sounds like there might be ways to do it. I have to email a few questions to Rich anyway from the training this morning. I'll include all of you all on them just in case you want to see the answers, but I'll ask about the teams. So we want to find out, is there a way to have all of the windows appear? And actually, I know exactly what you're talking about now because the state uses Teams, and it is sometimes it like focuses on like those 2 or 3, but it sounds like we can get it out to the big waffle. So, okay, I think I got your question down. And if not, I'll include you on it and you can chime in and like say that question was totally asked wrong.
I mean, I only have well, I think I have a max of 25. I haven't checked before Christmas. I think right before Christmas I had 17. So, just things you think of ahead of time, because for me, I do want them to be participating. That is a part of their grade. Getting comfortable with being on camera and talking and speaking.
Yes.
We are social workers.
Yes.
So that's something that I just had a question about. I just want to know anybody else's experience with that.
Well, and you know what? I don't know do you have an advanced, do you have a 300 or 400 level class?
That's a good question.
Well, it's no big deal. And I'm broad stroking here just slightly. But one thing in a post-pandemic world, we're starting to find a little bit, some of our freshmen are, I think, doing the group activities and talking. I do an Education 150 class, which is basically our first year experience class for our soon-to-be teachers, hopefully. And they're a wonderful group. I had an awesome group this time, very quiet. And I don't mean that that's a bad thing, but I'm like, come on, you're going to be teachers. You got to be a little more outgoing, and you got to get outside of your comfort zone a little bit. And I don't think it's anything they're doing. I think it's more just they were online for so long, and I think some of it was like the asynchronous learning. Nothing wrong with it. It's what I teach a couple of classes with, but it's you got to get in your comfort zone. I know, Mary, you do theater. I mentioned, but. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, have your students come take an acting class. That'll help a lot. But I agree 100%. Everybody's a little creaky with regard to being in person and interacting face to face.
I think they're on there, and you're welcome to check them out, or I can send you some. I've really tried to do a little more technology that makes students participate. Like, I don't know if anyone's familiar with something called Nearpod. I used it when I was a K through 12 instructor, but you can add bells and whistles where students have to answer questions within a PowerPoint. And when they're doing it, it brings discussion up and all. And I think it just gets students in a little more comfort zone. So there's definitely some technology. Rich does a lot of sessions, but I'll send you some lists of some of that stuff if you want to check it out. Even if you can't incorporate it this semester, I mean, my gosh, the semester starts on Monday. Hopefully everyone's going to be teaching here for a long time. It might be things that, you might say, well, this didn't work for the class, but man, I might try this. I'm always tinkering with my classes. So, I
think that would be great, because my class is from 6 to 8:40, at night. So my brain shuts off at 7, and I know that. So I get some engaged. Let's stand up. So I got me a bear desk. Let me stand up. Let's have a snack. Get your Twizzlers. Let's put some music on. Something to keep them engaged. Because again, I know how my brain shuts off.
Well, and you know what? That's another thing. With these night classes, it's tricky because I had one last semester, and it's just, you have to keep it. I almost had to stop lecturing after about it. I tried to stop after an hour, and we tried to do more hands-on stuff just because it's for that same reason. 8 o'clock, I'm like, man, I missed Jeopardy. I'm tired. What's going on? So good point. I guess I should really show you all this. Has everyone gotten an opportunity to log into their Brightspace?
Yes.
Checked it out. Okay.
Mhm.
It is the same login as your email. It should be you should get a screen that looks like this. I'm going to actually pull up a class that's kind of empty. There's 2 other professors in it. I don't think they would mind me doing that. I don't want to pull up a class that has students in it. But you'll see some things called the waffle. I'm sure most people have figured this out at this point, but when you click the waffle, if you look here, all your classes will show up here. This is a little bit it's big, but you'll see them. Some of them will be just like quirky things, like I mentioned that Title IX training that might pop up here. There's some things on there. If you all want, I'll put you in it. We have a new faculty learning community. It's for all new faculty. A lot of times the resources you won't have to worry about, but a lot of times we have guest speakers, and there'll be cool stuff like library will come in and what they can do. By the way, that's another thing I should add in. Sorry, I think it is on the fly. But for example, no, if you're teaching online or live, you can leave reserved readings in the library for students to check out and like if they need to do anything like that. That's something our library actually I think loves that because they still want traffic coming. It's the library, it's awesome. And you can definitely, if you have a reading, you can leave it with them and students can check it out. And actually, I do it. When my camera's not there, I have some books. It's just a lot easier because they'll keep track of it and I don't have to try to track students down as to who hasn't and who doesn't and things like that. So you can do that. But when you do have your classes, sorry, I'm going to jump back to this. I always pin mine. If you click that, it'll make it blue and it'll show up at the top, especially as you start to teach here a longer period of time. Because as you see, these are a lot of old classes. Another thing I just want to show you, I think they're all there. Yes. I don't know if you'll run into this much, but it's good to know when you start to course copy. There's a 30, there's a 40, and there's a 15. Whenever you see a 30, that's a fall class. Whenever you see a 40, that's a spring class. And whenever you see a 15, that's a summer class. And the only reason I tell you that, I'm going to show you something here in a few minutes. You can course copy. So if you build a class this semester and you're teaching the same class in the fall, you can copy that class into your Brightspace and try to save yourself some work. You just want to know which class you're looking for. So if it's in the fall, you'll know if you see it's a 30. Or if it's a class you only teach once a year, it just helps find that. I'm actually going to go, I don't think it'll hurt anything for me to go to my first class, that even if it has students. Actually, do I have anyone in this one? No, that's good. I'm just going to go with the basics here, but if anyone has anything specific with Brightspace you want answered, just let me know. I always, really, I feel like this is the page, that's the page, and probably that. Those three are probably going to be the ones you live in the most. If you do quizzes, obviously it would be there, but if you click content, actually, let me show you a better one. That's a good class. I won't click the students' names, but I think you'll get the gist of it here. I set mine up. This is from week to week to week. When you click course content, you can build right from that. And if you go down to the bottom of your page and you click add model, whatever, long day. Like, for example, we'll just put test week. When I put that there, it should be right there. And you can move this wherever you want, but I'm going to leave it right down there. When you build that and you click it, you can actually start to add stuff in there. So when I have assignments that I've built, I can go in there and click it. And you can just add it. So this class is already done, so I'll just throw that in there just to show you. That's there. So now that week when the students click it, and of course when you go up here, you can change the due dates and how long this week's open and things like that. You can add videos. If you record, it's all here. Like I say, Rich has a lot of the stuff on there, but if you're planning on, having things, I like week to week. And by the way, if the student can't find it here, the assignment tab will also have the philosophy statement where they can turn it in. But the content, I think, is always a key. So I don't know, has anyone gotten a chance to build a little bit in their course content? A little bit?
I have, and I have a question too. One of my predecessor in this class, they use WebAssign.
Okay.
And how it looks like that's kind of a duplication of things here, like assignments and WebAssign are the same thing. And I have not used both of those yet. Do you or anyone else have any experience in those?
I don't know anything about WebAssign, to be honest. Rich would probably be a good person to ask about that. I've never used it. I usually try to keep it in Brightspace. I know some people like to delve off into other things. I'm kind of a narrow-minded type person with that. I personally would just have everything come in through Brightspace just because it's there. I mean, if I was really just shooting from the hip.
I guess one of the things it does is, we're using an OpenStax textbook on this. And when you use WebAssign, it automatically generates assignments directly from the textbook.
You know what? Hold on. I actually know what you're, so it's connected to textbook. What I would do, I can ask, but I would maybe check. Do you know who taught the class last?
Yeah, I've been working with her, Seidel Murphy,
Oh,
and
okay,
then
she's
Jeff
awesome.
Groff.
You know what? She's on that committee. I would maybe email her and just ask her about, sometimes Brightspace and some of those textbook things are blended. And there's a code that you can merge it in. She probably knows how to do that. Rich might also. I've actually written that question down. So let's see, WebAssign. I'll find that one out. I would be lying to you if I knew said I knew the answer, but I do know this. I know that a lot of the science departments actually use that type of stuff with their textbooks, because I think it helps keep costs down if they're online and they can merge them in there.
Yeah.
So I'll fire it to Rich. If you can ask Seidel about that though, I would definitely do that. You might get a quicker response.
Yeah, I think she showed me once and it was like, but okay, yeah, I
Who
really
else
got
might
that.
know? Don't quote me on this. The bookstore, Tina Miller might know, because if it's connected to that, she might know a little bit about it. But I'll put Rich on there and we'll kind of get that figured out.
Great.
That's actually a good question. I'd love to be able to give you a good answer, but
Seidel knows. I'll just need to speed my mind up when she tells me again.
Another thing, discussions. I'm assuming most people like to use discussion boards. When you go in and you do your discussions, there's two little things up here. There's a forum and there's a topic. The forum is the big, and the topic is within the forum. That's probably the best way to do it. So for example, I created a forum called Social Studies Discussions, and then I added topics within that, and I just would create the form and then click that little, I think that actually has a name and I forget what it's called, but you can just add a topic and put them in there. And then I had blogs, which they had to do. I just called them blogs. They're not honest to goodness blogs. But I created another form up here. And I hit topic and then did that. So you can definitely create your discussion boards. And again, for example, if I wanted to, when I'm building, if I build those discussions, and you have to build them in the discussion first, and I wanted to add it to my week, I can simply go back here, click discussion. I'm just going to pick one, and it's in there. And the students, if you have it week to week, the students can actually kind of get to that right there. You can fiddle around. I like to put a week to week summary also, and all you have to do for that is click on that space like that, and it'll do it, and you can just hit update. And I know I'm kind of, if I need to slow down, just tell me. But that's something that, you know, you can do. Also, let me get out of this because I don't have great students in this class. There we go. Your grades, you do have a grade book in Brightspace also. This one doesn't have it on there, but when you go in there, it will have all the students' grades, all that. Sorry, I would have picked one that doesn't have any names in there. But there is a video setting that up. Usually it's linked to the assignments pretty regularly. So if it's a 50-point assignment, it'll have it in there and you'll see it, and it'll look just like a regular grade book, and it color codes it, and you can do a lot of stuff with it. But you can keep your grades here. Some people prefer to keep a handbook, written book. Either one works. You will always have a class list too. I think these are all professors, so that's good. You can email your class directly from this if you hit email class, and you can just send email, and that's one way you can just email everybody instead of having to, you know, go into Rail and hit that and everything like that. Also, let me see if I can get that out. Someone asked the question to me earlier today, and I thought it was a good one. Class announcements. When you make a class, if you want to do something for your class, all you have to do is click announcements. And let me go back a little quick there. When you're on your home page, you just hit announcements, new announcement, and test. And I'm going to publish it. It's there. And that will go out. Now, this is the question that was asked that I thought was pretty good. Most learning management systems, that will automatically go out to the students as an email also. It does in Brightspace also, but the students have to have their notification tab clicked. And I think, and this is one where I might be a little rusty. Let me go in here as a learner. You should be able to click, oh, there it is. Update alerts. Is that it? No. Whoops. I'll find out. You need to tell the students to have their notification. Oh, there it is, notifications. You click notifications and they'll go in there and they should be able to receive emails. Yep, emails, and they can click that and they'll receive it. Most students at this point have done that, but if you don't want to fiddle with that, what I do a lot of times, I just make an announcement, I cut and paste it, I go to class list, and I hit email class and I send it out. And the students that have notifications will get it twice, but I figure it's better for them to get it 2 times than not at all. So that's another thing that's on there with Brightspace. I would still say content is the big one that you want to do. You can build your models and such in there each week to week. I'm not the teacher. Oh, I'm in there as a learner. It's fine. Look out. Yeah, there it goes. And you can just do that. And if you ever see anything with an eyeball like that, just click on it and you should be, it's hidden and you actually should be able to unhit that. Let me see. Whoops. Oh, there it is. There it is. Hidden, not hidden. Anytime you do that, usually if you click the eyeball, it'll take care of it. You just need to put it on there, but if it's got the on there. That's very basic stuff. I am going to send out that email though with all those links that I showed you earlier that Rich had, that all those waffles and everything else. Also, again, Steve mentioned it. Your department should really be able to help you do that. Oh, one thing I do want to show you, and your departments may have already done this. When you start teaching these classes week to week, Brightspace does have the capability to copy. So when you want to course copy, maybe someone's already taught your class and they said, hey, so-and-so taught this class. You are more than welcome to copy it. They just need to enroll you in it. And when you go, if you go to course tools, course administration, if you click, oh, there it is, import, export, copy. You have to search for your course. I'll send this video out too, by the way. Like for example, I'll look up 380 and I want to copy that course. This is where that 1530 and all that I was telling you about. I know specifically what course I want. I wanted spring 2020. That's the class I want to copy. I click that. And this is where if I want to copy the whole class, I just hit copy all components and that whole class will copy over. You have to go back in and change the dates and things like that. But if there's just one select thing that you need, all you have to do is hit select components and you can just select what you want to copy. So that's kind of that. I know that's Brightspace on a very quick basis. So is there any questions? That's kind of very base level stuff. I will ask Rich those questions. I will also send you out his email because if you have any questions, he is awesome. He will answer them. I think he was off today. I was trying to get him to come in so he could maybe take some of those questions, but he was off. But he's an awesome guy to do it. And those videos are a lot of help. And of course, your departments are great. And if you really need help, feel free to contact me or Richie, and we can definitely help you get some stuff built. But Brightspace is the one thing. Oh, most importantly, if you don't ever use Brightspace, there is one thing you really should do because students expect it. Make sure your syllabus is posted, and there is a tab right there for it. At the very top of content. It's just something I think it's just to have it on there. We really are trying, if you're not even going to use Brightspace at all, if you have a live class, at least make sure you have your syllabus posted, because each class has a space and students just like to go in there and look. So, sorry, that was one thing I should have showed you. I think that's kind of the broad overview. I know we're on a little bit of the, oh, we got 5 minutes. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of a lot of this. I know that's a lot to dump on you. I will send these videos out, but are there any questions on anything that I can help with before Monday?
Yes, please. This is Lee.
Yeah.
I'm working on PowerPoints here on my computer.
Mhm.
I don't know what equipment is in the classroom, for one thing. I haven't been in the classroom. I don't know whether there's projectors, whatever it is that I'm going to need. It's in Whitehall, second floor.
They should all have projectors.
Okay, do I bring my own equipment or do I bring a thumb drive?
I would bring a thumb drive. Save yourself to have, actually, if you have access to the room, you're welcome to go into the rooms early. I mean, you can go check it out if you want to come on the campus one day. Actually, right now is probably not a bad time because there's not a whole lot of people still running around. You're welcome to go in there and check out what's in there.
Okay.
But every room really should have a projector and have a computer that's linked up to it. Now I'll go ahead, Mary.
I have a question on a different topic. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just say this, Lee. But if anything, you could email that your administrative assistant and just ask them just in case. Sometimes some rooms might have some sort of quirky tech or maybe something's down, but they should have a computer and they should have a projector. So go ahead, Mary.
Just tracking back to the suggestion about putting things on reserve in the library. What a great idea. Do you have a contact person that I could speak to about that?
Yep, if you give me 2 seconds, I'll tell you. I'm going to cheat. Actually, I'll even send this to you all too. It's when I put you in that course, it's actually library resources right here. And it should be, I hope she's got her name on there. I don't want to tell you the wrong person.
Oh, and please add me to that. You mentioned that there's a group.
I will definitely do that. And you'll get some of the emails. Oh, there's the reserve. Here we go.
Okay.
Teresa Smith is a good one. Those are all of our main persons, but Teresa will be a good spot to just go ahead and contact.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yep, T. Smith at Shepherd. If you contact her, I think they actually really are trying to encourage that. They just did it for a bunch of stuff that we did, and it's worked great. So
I'll email her tonight. Thank you.
no problem. Thank you all very much for doing this. I hope it helped. I know it's a lot in 2 hours, and when someone's Zoom account is only doing 40-minute shifts, it's even more of a pain. And when the first Zoom link didn't work, it's even more of a pain. But if there's anything I can do to help this semester, feel free to contact anytime. I will email Rich these questions, and you'll probably get a little bit of a long email just with some links and questions and things like that. But you're welcome to contact me anytime. I'm in Canudi 101C. I'm in and out. I do a lot of student teaching and student teaching observations and things like that, but I'm here a good bit. So if you're ever on campus, you're welcome to stop by anytime, or just email me and, we can go get a taco at Maria's and figure out, what we need to do with something. But everyone, I know everyone's department heads are great. And like I say, with the tech, I'm glad Lee asked that. If you are teaching live, I'd maybe go in and check my room out or contact my administrative assistant just to make sure, but you should have all that stuff. And I hope everyone has a good semester. Oh, the syllabus template. That's the other thing. I'll make sure I send out that syllabus template. So, well, good deal. I hope everyone gets some sleep and rest and everything else. And so I'll let you all go.
That was great, Jason. Thank
very
you.
much.
No problem. Have a good semester.
Thank you.
You too.